Have you ever dreamed of building your very own robot? I'm not talking about some pre-packaged toy, but a real, intelligent machine that you create from the ground up. For the longest time, that felt like pure sci-fi, right? Well, guess what? The future is officially here, and today, we're handing you the blueprint.
So picture this. It's 2025. A programmer posts a video of a robot they built in their garage. And it's not some clumsy toy. It's actually making breakfast. The price tag? Get this, just $1,200. The reaction online was immediate and, well, overwhelming. Thousands of people all chimed in with the exact same thought. I want one.
But here's the thing. There was a huge gap between being inspired and actually doing it. People were totally fired up, but they were all stuck on the same question. Okay, but how do I even start? This explainer, this is the roadmap they were missing. It's a straightforward guide to building your very first home robot from scratch.
So what changed? Why is this moment, right now, the golden age for amateur robotics? Let's take a look at the 3 key ingredients that have finally come together.
What's created this perfect storm is really the convergence of 3 powerful trends. First, reliable 3D printers, the machines that actually build the robot's body, have plummeted in price, from thousands of dollars to just a few hundred. Second, the cost of accessing these incredibly powerful AI brains through what are called APIs, think of it like plugging into a supercomputer over the internet, has become almost negligible. And third, these tiny, credit card-sized computers, like the Raspberry Pi, now pack the same punch as a full-on laptop from just a few years ago. Suddenly, the biggest roadblocks, they've pretty much vanished.
Okay, to make this whole journey feel a lot less overwhelming, we've broken it down into 3 distinct paths. You can pick the one that best fits your budget, your skills, and, of course, your ambition. Think of it like leveling up in a game. You can start out as an apprentice, creating a simple robot that can move around. Then you can level up to a craftsman, building a machine that's genuinely intelligent, maybe with face detection. Or you can go all in as a master and create something that's pretty close to commercial grade.
So here's what that actually looks like. For under $1,000, you can build an apprentice robot that talks and moves. But the sweet spot, and honestly our recommended starting point, is the craftsman path. For around $2,000, you're not just building a puppet, you're creating a machine with some genuine intelligence. And the master path? Well, that's for when you're ready to build something that could seriously rival the commercial models out there.
But let's be real for a second. This is not always a smooth ride. The author of our source material admits their first attempt was a complete disaster. We're talking $400 worth of plastic down the drain. The lesson here is super important. Manage your expectations. This is a marathon, not a sprint. You gotta start simple and build on your successes. Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty. First, big decision, your 3D printer. This is basically the factory that will create your robot's body. So yeah, choosing the right one is absolutely critical. Your choice here really boils down to a classic trade-off. You can go with the Budget King, a printer like the Creality Ender 3. It's incredibly cheap, and it kind of forces you to learn the nuts and bolts of 3D printing. Or you can invest in the Reliability Champion, something like a Prusa MK4. Sure, it costs more, but it's designed to just work perfectly right out of the box.
So here's the simple breakdown. If your goal is to learn everything you can on a tight budget, the Ender 3 is your best bet, for sure. If you just need to churn out parts as fast as humanly possible, the Bamboo Lab printer is an absolute speed demon. But if you value your sanity and just want every single print to succeed without a fuss, the Prusa MK4 is the undisputed gold standard for reliability.
Once you've got your printer, you need to decide what to feed it. We're talking about filament. Think of it as the ink for your 3D printer. It's the raw plastic that gets melted down to create the parts. But it's not one size fits all. You need to think of it like choosing the right material for your robot's bones, its joints, and its skin. Each part has a specific job to do.
And this quote right here shows you exactly why that choice is so critical. The author learned a pretty expensive lesson by trying to use just one material for everything. They used PLA, a super common, easy-to-print plastic for the entire robot. And while it's great for cosmetic shells, for structural joints or parts that get anywhere near a hot motor, it's just going to warp and fail. Using the right tool for the job is absolutely key. So, a well-built robot has a pretty varied material diet. The vast majority of its body, we're talking about 70%, should be printed from PETG. It's a strong, durable plastic perfect for structural parts. The outer shell, the cosmetic stuff, that can be made from easy-to-print PLA.
For anything that needs to be flexible, like tire treads or grippers, you'll use a rubber-like material called TPU. And finally, for those small parts that are right next to hot motors, you'll need the high-temp resistance of ABS.
All right, now we get to the really cool part, the magic. This is where we give your robot a brain. The AI model you choose is going to define its intelligence, its personality, and how it sees and interacts with the world.
And what's just mind-blowing is how affordable this has become. You can give your robot a powerful brain like Google's Gemini Flash for as little as $10 a month. If you need something with more advanced reasoning, Claude Sonnet is about $40. And for the most creative human-like conversations, GPT-4o will run you about $60 for typical use. So again, it's all about picking the right tool for the right job. Gemini Flash is perfect for fast, vision-based tasks. Claude Sonnet is the champ when it comes to complex problem-solving. And if you want a robot that can tell jokes and hold a really natural conversation, GPT-4o is, without a doubt, your best bet.
We've got the body, and we've got the brain. Now it's time to connect them. Let's look at the essential hardware that's actually going to bring your creation to life.
A robot's anatomy is really a team effort. The Raspberry Pi 5, that's the main brain. It handles the complex thinking and the AI processing. But it's smart. It delegates. For controlling the motors with split-second precision, it hands that job off to a simpler microcontroller, the Arduino. Think of the Arduino as the brainstem, handling all the reflex movements. The camera and mic are the eyes and ears, the motors are the muscles, and the LiPo battery, well, that's its heart. So if you're following our recommended craftsman path, the total cost for all these core electronic components comes to about $450. It's a significant investment for sure, but that's everything you need to build a truly intelligent machine. It gives you a really clear target for your hardware budget. And let's be realistic about the timeline here. This is not a weekend project. You should plan for about 3 months. The first month is all about printing parts. The second is for assembly and wiring, and the third month is for coding and finally bringing your robot to life.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? Building a robot is an exercise in patience. Things will break. Code won't compile. But every small victory, every successful test, it all builds towards this one moment of pure, unadulterated magic.
And the author puts it beautifully. That first moment of true interaction, when it recognizes you and it speaks to you, it makes all the effort, all the frustration, totally worthwhile. You've gone beyond just assembling parts. You're creating something that actually feels alive.
Look, the tools are more accessible and more affordable than they have ever been before, and you now have a clear path forward. So really, the only question left is, what kind of robot will you bring into the world?